Doug Kide. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. Doug Kide here with this week's Patriots video mailbag. Tweet me your questions at Doug Kide using the hashtag MailDoug, and I'll try to answer them here or in my weekly written mailbag on Nesson.com, which drops every Friday morning. Jeff has the first question. He asks, why have the Pats shied away from the two tight end method? I think we can all agree the early 2010s were pretty fun. Not saying anyone is as good as those two, but if we got Rudolph and Everett, seems so simple to me. They've shied away from that method because of the talent level that they've had at that position. They've barely had one usable tight end on their roster over the last couple of years, let alone two. So the Patriots did have the fewest number of snaps last season with two tight ends on the field, and that makes sense considering the fact that Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, the two rookies, were largely ineffective, and Ryan Izzo was fine when he was healthy. The Patriots didn't have any options beyond that. It wasn't just the 2010s, though, that the Patriots did use two tight ends. 2016 as well, when Martellus Bennett and Rob Gronkowski were both healthy at the same time. They were used on the field together for almost 200 snaps. So if the Patriots did have the pieces in place, I think they would use two tight ends more. They just haven't had them. So I think the best method for the Patriots to go with this offseason would be to sign a veteran, whether that is someone like Kyle Rudolph or Gerald Everett, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, one of those options, Zach Ertz if he gets released or if they can trade for him, and then hope that one of those rookie tight ends, whether it's Asiasi or Keene, can also step up. And then that two tight end set would be the veteran and the young player. I don't think that they necessarily need to go out and sign two veteran tight ends. I think that you sign the veteran and then also hope that one of those third round picks plays a little bit better in 2021. Second question here, I'm just going to say, because I'm bad at pronouncing things, is there a chance of getting Joe Tooney back? Is he interested in re-signing? Yeah, anything's on the table for Joe Tooney. He would absolutely be willing to come back to the Patriots just like he was last offseason, but the Patriots would have to figure out that long-term extension. Last year they franchised him. That's probably not on the table again this year because they would have to pay him 20% more than he even made last year. I laid this out in a piece that I wrote this week. The best case for bringing back Joe Tooney is that at least in 2021, he's not going to cost that much more than Marcus Cannon. Marcus Cannon returning from the opt-out, his salary is right around $7 million. The Patriots could free up that $7 million if they traded or released Marcus Cannon. Say that the Patriots get Joe Tooney on the books in 2021 for around 10 or 12 million. Is the upgrade of Marcus Cannon to Joe Tooney worth that $5 million? There's a pretty strong case for that. So that would be, if the Patriots did want to bring back Joe Tooney, I would say that they would probably have to make a move with Marcus Cannon and then use the money that they freed up by trading or releasing Marcus Cannon to then bring back Joe Tooney. I do think that makes a little bit of sense, but they also would need to reach that long-term extension with Joe Tooney, which they have not been able to do now for a number of years. Final question here, Colin asks, do you think the Pats will carry 2 or 3 quarterbacks on their roster this year? Maybe 2 on the active roster. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Probably 3. Whether it's on the active roster, plus the practice squad, I do think that they'll carry those 3 quarterbacks. One of them, the third stringer, might be someone like Jarrett Stidham. Maybe if the Patriots spend lavishly at the quarterback position and bring in someone like Jimmy Garoppolo or one of the better quarterback options out there, maybe Stidham would then be the backup, and they would have Jake Delagala or a draft pick or something else as that third stringer. But with so much uncertainty at that position, I do think it makes sense for the Patriots to have 3 quarterbacks on their roster in 2021, just so that they've got the guy for this year, the backup, and then maybe the guy for the future as well. But I have no idea what the Patriots are going to do about quarterback this season. I don't think anyone really knows. There's still time for the Patriots to figure it out. They've got a ton of options out there, and depending on what they do about their starter, that's going to have a domino effect of what other quarterbacks they have on their roster in 2021.